What's going on, guys? This next stretch routine, super simple to do. 6 different movements, 2 for the shoulders, 2 for your spine, and 2 for your hips. All you need is a place on the ground, a pillow or a block or something to relax your head on. All right, rotational stretch series. We're gonna work on our hip, we're gonna work on our shoulder, we're gonna work on our thoracic spine or upper back. So 2 movements for each one, 1 minute for each movement. I have this stick behind me. It is not there by coincidence. That is there to demonstrate we want the body in a straight line. So head to toe, body straight line. We're going to bend the knees a little bit, but we're always keeping our spine nice and straight. For movement number 1, what we're going to do for the setup position is we're going to take our top leg, we're going to fold it over the top, or if you want to make it a little more difficult, you could actually fold that foot underneath that top leg. All right, so what we're going to do for the first exercise, all right, we'll call these the bow and arrow. So we're going to grab the bow with this bottom hand, we're going to grab the arrow with the top hand. Our head's relaxed, we can use a pillow, I'm using a block, right, nice and relaxed on the head. What we're going to do is we're going to reach, we're going to pull that arrow back, rotate our upper back and spine, and then reach back. So as I pull this arrow back, this left hand or the bow hand is going to drive forward. I'm going to pull back. So we're really just rotating that upper back or spine, working on that rotation of the thoracic spine as we move through the movement. Inhale, exhale back. So we're keeping the hips locked in. This whole movement is working from the bottom of the rib cage to your neckline or that thoracic spine, that thoracic rotation. Right, so nice and smooth through for the first exercise. Reaching through, pulling back. Reaching through, pulling back. So movement number 2, we're going to stay locked in the same position, but we're going to now work on this top shoulder. So all we're going to do is hang out, nice and relaxed. So we're either in a thumb up position or a thumb down position. So what we're going to think about is keeping our body nice and tight. From a thumb up position, we're going to go to the top as far as we can with the thumb up. And when I run out of room, meaning when I have to compensate to go more, that's my end point. So clock's going to start 1 minute. When I hit my end point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate thumb down and rotate driving that thumb down and around. So I'm working on all rotation out of this shoulder joint right here. So thumb up, top position. Hit my end point, start rotating hard to thumb down and around. So we're really mobilizing this shoulder for anybody who has tight shoulders, little tight muscles in the chest, shoulder, really rotating through those muscles of the shoulder, nice and easy, straightforward, end point, rotate around. The opposite of this, we could do both directions, would be starting at the hip, thumb down, reach back, hit our end point, rotate from that shoulder, up and around to thumb up. Thumb down, rotate back, and around to thumb up. Back, around, to thumb up. Right, 1 minute mark there. So now for our next movement, we're going to work back into this hip. So we're going to unlock the leg from this position. We're going to make sure our body still stays in this straight line. So all we're thinking is we want to keep our core tight. We want to keep our upper body tight. We want all the movement, though, to come out of this hip joint only. Right? So meaning I don't want to move my pelvis around. I want to lock the body in. So here we go, 1 minute mark. I'm going to go toe up. I'm going to go up as far as I can until I run out of range of motion. Same thing as with the shoulder. When I run out of range of motion, what I mean is in order to go further, if I have to go like this or do any kind of compensation movements, that's my end point. So I'm going to go straight forward, hit my end point. I'm going to come straight up to the top, and I'm going to go straight down the wall, number 3. So I'm doing this triangle, forward, up, and straight down, right? All the range of motion coming out of this hip, keeping my body nice and controlled, just working on that hip range of motion, right? So this is one direction forward. The opposite is we can go the other direction with the triangle. So we would start up high as we can, down, and back. Up, down, and back. So 2 directions with the triangle. You could do these at whatever pace you want, depending on how flexible you are, how tight you are, right? Find the ones that work for you. Do a minute, do 2 minutes if you need to. Just working through the body, nice and loose is the goal for all these exercises, right? So that's the first series of 1, 2, and 3. So for the next series, we're going to go back into rotation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring this foot forward, and we're going to cup and grab this top knee here. I'm going to take my other hand, and I'm going to put it behind my head. So all I'm going to do on this one now is I'm going to close, keeping this grip here, keeping this knee flat, and then I'm going to open my body up and back. Right, so 1 minute mark, inhale, down, exhale, open nice and smooth. Right, so again, the goal for this one, we're rotating our spine, we're rotating our upper back, right, all those rotational muscles of our spine to work on building that mobility, work on that rotational range of motion, and just maintaining good, controlled range of motion flexibility in our upper back. Right, nice and smooth, down, nice and smooth, up. Right, whatever you're comfortable doing too, as long as this leg is locked. If we want to open up the hand, that's fine. If we want to keep the hand up top, right, there's no right or wrong as long as from here up, we're rotating that spine. That's the goal. So rotation and rotation. All right, so for this next exercise, we're going to get a little bit of shoulder rotation, and we're going to also keep working on this upper back or thoracic rotation. So same spot as before with the bow and arrow. We're going to put 1 foot forward. And all we're going to do now is we're going to work on 2 things. We're going to go hand over the top, set the clock for 1 minute. Right, hands over the top. We're going to rotate the same way as before, driving this thumb down as we rotate our spine open and close also. So hand on hand. Hand goes up, thumb up position. We're rotating our spine, keeping this knee down. You can hold it if you need to back position. Right, so we're rotating our shoulder and we're rotating our spine in the same way, kind of like we did before with the bow and arrow. So combination of the two, right, nice and smooth from one side to the other. Thumb is up, rotate spine, this hand stays pushing down, knee stays down, to thumb down. Right, my head comes along for the ride, head's forward. Rotate the body around, nice and smooth. Exhale. Back to the other side. Inhale. Right? Nice and easy, working that range of motion. Not pushing past any pain points. Just really rotating your body side to side. Right, so for number 3, the last one for the hips, so this is our second hip exercise. Very similar movement we did before, very similar movement we're doing with the shoulder. We're going to work on rotation only out of this hip joint. So we're going to create some stability, some tightness up top. We're going to squeeze our core, drive this arm down. We're going to separate our feet. So what we're going to do is a couple different movements. So movement number 1, we're going to go knee up. Movement number 2, we're going to drive the knee out to the side. And movement number 3, we're going to rotate this knee down and drive that foot behind our body and circle back. So it's straight up 1. Out to the side 2, drive that knee down, drive that foot back 3, and rotate around. So the goal when you go through these is we want to lock the body in. We don't want to move around too much. We don't want to roll one side the other. We don't want to bend and extend. We want to try and isolate only out of this hip joint as we move and rotate through this range of motion. Right? So the goal is also to hit all these points 1, 2, and 3 without compensation. So it doesn't matter if you have a huge range of motion, it doesn't matter if your range is only to here, and to here. The goal is to maximize whatever range of motion you have to try and slowly build up that hip rotation, work on really building range of motion in the hips, work on that mobility, and working on the flexibility of those muscles in your hips as well. Right? So nice and smooth up and down. Right, so that completes all the exercises. So 2 for each joint, each one a minute in length, once or twice a week. Anything that's tighter, you can work on a little bit more. And obviously, whatever we do on one side, we're going to repeat those same exercises on the other side of your body.